Teutul Jr. is a name that needs little introduction. He's recognized widely for his expertise in crafting custom chopper-style motorcycles with stunning, often awe-inspiring designs. His rise to fame came through the hit reality series American Chopper, which documented the day-to-day workings of Orange County choppers. But while fans loved watching the bikes come to life, the real drama unfolded between Paul Jr. and his father. What really happened between the two? And have they finally mended their fractured relationship? Born on October 2nd, 1974, Paul Michael Teutul Jr. grew up in a large family in the U.S., raised by parents Paul Teutul Sr. and Paula Teutul. He shared his childhood with three siblings: Daniel, who later took over Orange County Iron Works, LLC, Michael, another familiar face from American Chopper, and Kristen, who pursued a career in nursing. Paul Jr. eventually founded his own company, Paul Jr. Designs, which focuses on creating custom motorcycles and selling branded merchandise. Long before he became a TV personality, Paul Jr. was learning the ropes of fabrication and metalwork. At just 12 years old, he began working summers at his father's steel company, Orange County Iron Works. In high school, he sharpened his skills through a cooperative education program, and after graduating, he took on a full-time role, eventually becoming head of the railing shop. By the late 90s, Paul Sr. began spending more time building motorcycles as a hobby. Recognizing his son's talent for metalwork and design, he launched Orange County Choppers in 1999. Their collaboration, especially showcased in American Chopper, catapulted them into the spotlight. Paul Jr. served as the shop's lead designer and fabricator, while also helping build its public image. However, things behind the scenes weren't always smooth. In 2009, after a serious falling out with his father and business partner, Paul Jr. decided to walk away from the company. Although he briefly returned as a consultant to help with some bike builds, he never resumed his full-time role. That same year, he launched Paul Jr. Designs and even helped build a dog park in Montgomery, New York. By 2010, TMZ reported that he planned to start a motorcycle company that would directly compete with his father's. Though bound by a non-compete clause for a time, Paul Jr. eventually resumed building bikes and did so under the public eye once again. He returned to TV in the Discovery Channel series American Chopper, Senior vs. Junior, which featured both his new company and his father's. Notably, Paul Jr. Designs even built two custom motorcycles for the film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows. Well before reality TV feuds became commonplace, before Kim Kardashian lost her earring in the ocean or the Real Housewives turned arguments into entertainment, the Teutuls delivered one of television's most unforgettable showdowns. The heated exchanges between Paul Sr. and Paul Jr. became iconic. One of the most explosive arguments occurred in 2008 during American Chopper's 5th season, when Sr. confronted Jr. about his chronic lateness. What started as a lecture quickly erupted into a shouting match, culminating in Paul Jr. being fired from the business. The tension between the two was so intense and relatable that it eventually gave birth to a viral meme years later. Though the meme gained popularity in 2018, the footage came from earlier seasons and became a cultural touchstone for workplace and family conflict. In a later interview with Discovery, both father and son admitted they didn't quite understand the meme's widespread appeal, but they appreciated that something once so painful had taken on a humorous twist. Their arguments weren't limited to one explosive moment. Throughout the show, they frequently clashed over creative decisions, business practices, and even minor misunderstandings. One notable confrontation took place in the show's early Daytona Bike Week episode. Tensions boiled over when Paul Sr. showed up unexpectedly at the shop, criticizing Jr.'s work in front of their team. Their disagreements often forced their co-workers to walk away from the scene just to escape the stress. Despite the shouting matches and insults, Viewers occasionally caught a glimpse of Paul Jr.'s quieter, more thoughtful side. In one scene, speaking directly to the camera, he confessed that he often felt like his father targeted him, constantly looking for flaws to call out. But even amid their battles, fans admired how Jr. could stand his ground with composure, even while juggling his work. In a later interview on the 700 Club, Paul Jr. reflected on the breaking point in his relationship with his father and what led him to leave the shop for good. Understanding the full context allowed him to move forward, professionally and emotionally. When American Chopper first ended in 2010, it did so with fireworks. During the final episode of Season 6, Paul Jr. warned the team that his father was coming to inspect a new production bike. As Sr. arrived, he immediately began offering unsolicited advice and critiques, something Jr. didn't appreciate. But this time, instead of descending into another screaming match, the two had a different kind of conversation. It was less aggressive, more introspective. They acknowledged the strained nature of their past and the slow, tentative progress in their communication. Jr. noted that they were no longer resorting to screaming or physical threats and were instead trying to talk through their issues. While emotions still ran high and old wounds remained, it was a step in the right direction. Even with their complicated history, that moment hinted at a possible reconciliation. Paul Jr. expressed that while trust was still an issue, he appreciated the effort, and maybe, just maybe, it was the beginning of healing a father-son bond once broken by pride and anger. American Chopper, the rift between father and son. The reality series, American Chopper, Sr. versus Jr., spotlighted the intense rivalry between Paul Teutul Sr. and his son Paul Teutul Jr., while also shedding light on Jr.'s own custom motorcycle venture, Paul Jr. Designs. Initially operating near his father's Orange County Choppers in New York, Jr. later moved his operations to Florida. His company became known for crafting more than just bikes. It embraced broader industrial design projects. In 2021, Paul Jr. launched the Paul Jr. podcast, sharing on Instagram, "This is something I've wanted to do for a very long time." Years earlier, in 2017, he released his memoir, The Build, Designing My Life of Choppers, Family, and Faith, detailing his personal and professional journey. When asked about his termination from Orange County Choppers, Paul Jr. showed no bitterness. Despite their notorious on-screen blow-ups and clashing creative visions, the tipping point came in 2008 after yet another heated argument. Jr.'s habitual tardiness led Sr. to declare, "I'm not going to let him get away with this stuff anymore." Accusing his son of arriving late and slacking off, Sr. publicly fired him in front of their staff. Paul Jr. defended himself, arguing that regardless of his hours, the work always got done. "If I wasn't involved, this place would fall apart." After the explosive firing, punctuated by Jr. throwing a chair in frustration, he launched Paul Jr. Designs, despite facing a non-compete clause that barred him from building bikes for a year. He later told Fox News in 2017 that the year away from building motorcycles helped him rediscover his passion and creativity, calling his previous work environment toxic. "I finally understood what others had tried to tell me. My relationship with my father was unhealthy," Jr. admitted. The pair didn't speak for nearly a decade. "It was a tough time for both of us," he told People. Their reconciliation didn't happen until 2018, when they agreed to work on mending their relationship and even rebooted American Chopper for the Discovery Channel. Despite the public reunion, Paul Sr. insisted they'd never work under the same roof again. "That was the downfall of our relationship," he said, drawing a clear boundary. Still, the drama wasn't over. Paul Sr. filed a lawsuit in New York State Supreme Court. Despite the name, it's the state's lowest court, asserting his right to purchase his son's shares in Orange County Choppers Holdings, Inc. He claimed he could activate a stock option to buy out Junior's stake for a pre-agreed amount, rumored to be over $500,000, and sought an additional $1 million in damages. Following his departure, Paul Jr. shifted focus, expanding his company into a full-scale industrial design firm. His brother Mikey, meanwhile, began seeking treatment for alcoholism. Paul Sr. later admitted on camera that he was no longer in contact with any of his children. Now living in semi-isolation with his wife Beth Dillon, he's distanced himself from family and even appeared content that his sons no longer work at the shop, much to the discomfort of remaining employees. In 2009, Paul Jr. helped develop a dog park in Montgomery, New York, and used it as a springboard to launch Paul Jr. Designs. His first product venture, a redesign of the Coleman Road Trip Grill in 2010 to mark the company's 10th anniversary. Around the same time, during an episode titled Stuart Haas Bike, he pitched a line of eco-friendly pet toys to Bamboo Pets. By mid-April that year, TMZ reported that Paul Jr. was planning to directly compete with Orange County Choppers by launching his own motorcycle company. Michael, Vinny DiMartino, Joe Pugliafico, and Robert Nub Collard were among the notable craftsmen who previously worked at Orange County Choppers. After fulfilling a one-year non-compete clause imposed by Orange County Choppers, Paul Teutul Jr. resumed building motorcycles at his own firm, Paul Jr. Designs, PJD. The company gained renewed attention through the Discovery Channel's series American Chopper, Senior vs. Junior, which spotlighted the competition between father and son. Following his exit from Orange County Choppers, Cody Connolly also joined PJD. In 2014, PJD organized 2 dedicated teams to design and build Azeroth-inspired choppers for World of Warcraft, a massively popular video game developed by Blizzard Entertainment. It was during the filming of an American Chopper episode titled Gas Tank Protector McGuff that Paul Jr. first met Rachel Beaster, who played the role of the McGuff girl. Their connection grew, leading to a romantic relationship that began on August 20th, 2010, and eventually culminated in marriage. Rachel Beaster, a successful model and businesswoman from the United States, has been featured in numerous high-profile fashion campaigns and editorials. In Montgomery, New York, she owns a flourishing haute couture boutique named Oliver Ann, which enjoys a steady stream of clientele throughout the year. While she had already made a name for herself in the fashion world, her marriage to Paul Jr. significantly elevated her public profile. After the couple's relationship became public, curiosity surrounding Rachel's background, such as her age, career, and role in Paul Jr.'s life, grew substantially. Their wedding was held at the elegant Bonnet Island estate in New Jersey, with more than 100 guests in attendance. Rachel's wedding gown was chosen during her appearance on the show Say Yes to the Dress, and their wedding cake was featured on Cake Boss. In February 2015, the couple welcomed their son, Hudson Seven Teutul. Despite the years that have passed, the family still resides in their beautiful home. Paul Jr.'s journey into the spotlight began when he joined the family business and became one of the central figures in American Chopper. As the Teutul family grew their chopper empire, they began drawing the attention of the entertainment world. Less than 3 years after the debut of their custom-built bike, True Blue, at Biketoberfest in 1999, the Discovery Channel became interested in their story. At the start of the 2000s, Discovery began focusing more on reality programming to appeal to a broader audience. American Chopper made its television debut on September 29, 2002, with the premiere of its pilot episode. The feature project of that episode was the Jet Bike, built by Paul Sr. and Paul Jr., and scheduled to be showcased during the Laconia Bike Week in New Hampshire in June 2002. Early on, tensions between the Teutuls became apparent. One moment that hinted at future conflicts occurred when Paul Jr. skipped work to play golf during a critical project deadline. These dynamics and their real-life struggles became part of the show's dramatic appeal, The second pilot aired on January 19, 2003, offering a more in-depth look at the Teutul family. In this episode, Paul Sr. and Paul Jr. opened up about their past battles with substance abuse, creating an honest and raw portrayal of their lives behind the scenes. At the time, American Chopper was groundbreaking. It was among the first reality shows to follow a business and its inner workings through a documentary-style format, setting the stage for countless similar shows in the years to follow. From the very start, it was clear that American Chopper offered much more than just custom motorcycles. It provided a raw and revealing look at the lives of the employees, clients, and family members behind Orange County Choppers. These personal dynamics became one of the main reasons the show rose to fame so quickly. The series officially premiered on March 31, 2003, after receiving a full season order. Much of Season 1 focused on the intense pressure faced by the Orange County Choppers team as they juggled tight deadlines for their bold and complex builds. Paul Teutul Sr. was cast as the domineering, no-nonsense leader, while Paul Jr. was often portrayed as the rebellious son unwilling to fall in line. Michael Teutul, the youngest son, made his debut during the first season, serving as the assistant general manager at the shop. His role was largely comedic, adding levity to the tense interactions between his father and brother throughout the series. On November 7, 2017, Paul Jr. released his first book titled The Build, Designing My Life of Choppers, Family, and Faith. For longtime fans of the show, the book was a major moment. It offered a first-hand account of the real tensions that fueled the on-screen drama. While the show revealed glimpses of the turbulent father-son relationship, the book dove much deeper into the emotional toll it took. In an interview with the New York Times following the book's release, Paul Jr. shared that the launch had originally been planned for fall 2016, but was delayed. Still, he believed its eventual publication came at just the right time, after public attention around the family's rift had reached a peak. By then, his own shop had closed, and the world was eager to hear his version of events. Within the book, Paul Jr. opens up about the emotional weight of growing up in the spotlight and how that fame strained his already difficult relationship with his father. On the very first page, he makes it clear that the tension wasn't scripted. "My father and I were in a relational train wreck, one that was as hard to watch as it was to live through," he wrote, referencing their decade-long run across 233-hour-long episodes. As the story unfolds, Paul Jr. takes readers back to his childhood, describing the deep challenges he faced being raised by a man he describes as monstrous. He reveals that Paul Sr. battled alcoholism, a problem that created long-standing rifts in their family life. He also explains that this behavior was part of a generational cycle, noting that his grandmother also struggled with alcohol and that Paul Sr. grew up in a home filled with conflict rather than love. Eventually, Paul Jr. says he was able to gain some understanding and acceptance of his father's choices, including his separation from Paul Jr.'s mother and his battle with addiction. Despite their rocky past, Paul Jr. built a successful life of his own, thanks in large part to his custom motorcycle business and fame from reality TV. His estimated net worth is around $2 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth. Financial stability, however, has not been a shared trait among other members of the Teutul family. In 2020, according to Page 6, artist Scott Gunnels filed a lawsuit against Paul Sr. and Michael Teutul, accusing them of using his artwork on American Chopper merchandise without permission. The suit, seeking over $25,000, also named entities like Orange County Choppers, Discovery Inc., and Pilgrim Media Group. Paul Jr. was not involved in the case. This wasn't the only legal trouble for the elder Teutul. In 2018, he faced a fraud lawsuit from a former business associate who claimed Paul Sr. sabotaged a television project, leading to massive financial losses. That same year, Paul Sr. filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and his home went into foreclosure, according to The Blast. On top of that, he owed over $223,000 in state taxes linked to his Orange County Choppers Cafe business, forcing him to sell off some of his personal vehicles to stay afloat. While Paul Jr. continues to earn a solid income from motorcycle design and television, with annual earnings believed to be in the high six figures, his father's financial picture is much bleaker. Paul Sr.'s net worth has dwindled to around $500,000, though he still maintains a lifestyle many would consider luxurious.